Hello, welcome to the Writing on the Wall. We're going to start a new segment today. This will be entitled The Beast Revealed, and this is episode 1. To see the beast revealed, we must first go through the word and see the pattern that is laid out, the framework that is laid out for this age. This age has come and fulfilled the pattern, fulfilled the framework, and we can see it. So let's see in Revelations 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet as of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. Now this is the beast that you see from Revelations. The pattern is laid out there. We saw the example in Revelations of the beast, the pattern, but to fully understand it, we need to go back to the Old Testament. Now, in 1 Corinthians in the New Testament, it reminds us that now these things are examples. The Old Testament accounts of what happened to them in the wilderness with Moses and all the things that happened to them where they fell into idolatry. These things were our examples, the Old Testament, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted. 1 Corinthians tells us that the Old Testament stories were examples. Again in 1 Corinthians, now all these things happened unto them for examples, that they are written for our admonition, unto whom the ends of the world are come. So we see that the ends of the world have come to us. Now, scripturally, that was right after the day of Pentecost, but we are even closer now. And the ends of the world are coming. The Old Testament is examples. That word examples is the Hebrew word typos. The Greek word typos. This is from the New Testament. It is a figure, an example, a pattern. The Old Testament stories and accounts are a pattern. And we saw in Hebrews that the Word of God is a pattern for us. It is a framework for the worlds. We saw this in Revelations we just read. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet as of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power, his seat, and great authority. This is the same pattern that we see in Daniel. These are the same beasts. This pattern anyways, this framework. The leopard, the bear, the lion. This is the same pattern that appears in Daniel. So let's go check that out. Since the Old Testament is an example, a figure, a type, let's check it out. So let's go to Daniel 7 and see the pattern. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream, told the sum of the matters. Daniel spoke and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the 4 winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. And 4 great beasts come up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said this unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. This is the pattern. These are the beasts that appear again in Revelations. The lion, the bear, the leopard. In Daniel, these are 4, well in this case 3, we're looking at 3. These are 3 different beasts, one after the other. But in Revelations, it is all at once. One beast with these characteristics. One beast that will fit this framework. Okay, to examine this pattern, we're going to look at what happens to the king of Babylon. The reverse happens to him. In this pattern, the lion had eagle's wings. The wings were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and stand like a man, and a man's heart was given to it. Now, in this time period, in this ancient world, the man's heart was synonymous with like the seat of the intellect, what we might consider the mind. The man's heart was considered to be like the mind, their intellect. So a man's heart was given to it. Now let's see what happens when the reverse of this happens to the king of Babylon. Daniel 4:16. We're talking about the king of Babylon, let his heart be changed from a man's, and let a beast's heart be given unto him, and let it 7 times pass over him. This is the example. Well, we're continuing on later. It says, the king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? This is the king of Babylon talking about how great he is and how great Babylon is, which he has built, the king. While the word in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, thy kingdom is departed from thee. The same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagles, and his nails like birds. We see this is the reverse. He was greatly proud. He thought he had created Babylon himself, the king of Babylon, through his power, through his majesty. Well, his heart was taken from him, and a beast's heart was given to him. And when that happened to him, he was driven from men. He ate grass as oxen. His body was wet with the dew from heaven. His hairs were grown like eagles, and his nails like birds. He basically lived like an animal. He went from a king of Babylon, the highest place of majesty and honor, but because he thought he did it himself and was very prideful of his accomplishments and his majesty, he did not consider God. Well, that was taken from him. His heart was removed, and a beast's heart was given to him, and he acted like this. He went out with the beasts. His hairs were like eagles. We see from Daniel that the opposite happens to the beast. The eagle's wings were taken from him, not given to him as with the king of Babylon, taken from him, and a man's heart was given to him, not a beast's heart. The beast, he was the beast. The man's heart was given to him. The intellect of man was given over to the beast. So we see this pattern from the first beast that was like a lion is essentially the opposite, the inverse of what happened to the king of Babylon. The king of Babylon was very prideful. He thought he had built his kingdom, was the pinnacle of creation, and he thought he was the guy who built it all. Well, his heart was taken from him, and a beast's heart was given to him, and he went out and grew hair like eagles and was living with the beast, not even a man. The opposite has happened to this beast. We see that a man's heart, a man's intellect was given to it, and the eagle's wings were stripped from it. So we see what happened to the king of Babylon when his heart was returned to him. At the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up my eyes to heaven, and mine understanding returned unto me. So his understanding returned to him, his knowledge, his mind. So what? The heart, the mind, intellect of a man given to the beast. So what does that mean? The mind, intellect of man given to the beast. This should give us a predictable result as we see from Nebuchadnezzar. The kingdom is built. When you give the heart, the mind to the beast, the kingdom is built. The knowledge to build the kingdom is there. Man's mind was yielded to the beast. Man's mind was given to the beast. The intellect of man was given over to the beast. And you see that the opposite of a kingdom being taken from the king, when the heart is taken from him, if the heart is given to him, the kingdom is built. The king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house and the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? That is what happens when the beast gets the heart of a man. They begin to build Babylon. They begin to build it for their power, for their honor. It is the reverse of what happened to the king. So this first beast coincides with the increase in knowledge. The increase in knowledge, the first, like a lion, had eagle's wings. You see in the verse that a man's heart, a man's intellect was given to it, was yielded to it. Well, this coincides with the increase in knowledge and man's use of that knowledge to build up a wicked system, essentially a new version of Babylon, where they worship themselves and they worship their own creation. Is there any evidence in this verse? Because this kingdom is numbered. And we see the word plucked. The word plucked is numbered H4804. It's Merat. It occurs one time. Well, that word is numbered with the G4804. And that word is Zutetetes. That word is a disputer. It occurs one time as well. And it is in 1 Corinthians. Where the wise, where the scribe, where the disputer of this world? Hath not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? And we see this word plucked, which occurs once, is numbered with a word that also occurs just one time and goes to a verse about wisdom. This is just one indication that when a man's heart, when the man's mind was given to the beast, the increase in knowledge occurred and they built up their kingdom. Is there another indication that man's heart, man's intellect being yielded to the beast is part of this increase in knowledge, this kingdom being built out of the increase in knowledge? Given, the word given is H3052. Yahab. It occurs 28 times. It is given or yielded or paid. And the man's heart, man's intellect was yielded, was given to the beast. Well, this kingdom is numbered, and H3052 is numbered with G3052, the word logios. Logios. Eloquent is how it's translated. It occurs one time. It is a learned person, a man of letters. We might consider this person like a man of letters would be considered a person with a higher degree, many doctorates maybe, but this is just an eloquent, a learned person. And we see that when the man's mind was yielded, was given over to it, a learned man of letters came out of that, and they built the kingdom that we see around you. The beginning of it is the increase in knowledge, and that you can see that in the first beast. At the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up mine eyes unto heaven, and mine understanding returned unto me. This is what happened when the king of Babylon, that his heart returned to him. When he had the heart of a beast, he fell from his crown, his throne, and he acted like an animal and lived with the animals. When his heart, the heart of a man, returned to him, his understanding returned to him. And we see that's what happens when man's mind, man's intellect is given over to the beast. Well, they have an understanding, but it's the understanding of the beast and what it represents. The king spake and said, Is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house, my kingdom, and by the might of my power, and for the honor of my majesty? We see from this verse, this is what the king thought. The king thought before his heart was taken out of him and a beast's heart was given to him. Well, this is again what man thinks, as the heart of man, the intellect of man has been given to the beast. It has puffed up mankind in immense pride. They think they have built Babylon. They think they have built their house, their kingdom by their power, for their honor. They are wrong. So man's mind being yielded to the beast, out of that comes this kingdom, this high-tech modern world, this electrified and submerged in waves world. Now the king spake and said, Is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? This is what the king of Babylon thought before he fell, and this is what the people of this age think before they fall. How did they build it? In the fashion of a lion. Jesus Christ is the lion. And one of the elders said unto him, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, that's Jesus Christ, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and loose the 7 seals thereof. This is just showing that the Lion of the tribe of Judah, that is Christ. But we see that in 1 Peter, to be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion. He is not the lion, Christ is the lion, but the devil mimics him as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. We also see that this indicates that When man's heart was given to the beast, when the beast received the intellect of man, what he did with it was build a kingdom, but not just a unique kingdom, a kingdom that mimics, mocks, copies the kingdom of God. It copies the true vine. It copies the Lion of the tribe of Judah. This kingdom, this Babylonian kingdom, as a roaring lion is how it appears. It appears as Christ. It does in like manner as he did. That's the pattern. So this modern electrified world is a result of the mind of man being yielded to the beast, to the first beast. He was given the intellect, the heart of man. And we see the results all around us. My soul among lions. I lie among them that are set on fire, the sons of men, whose teeth spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword. That is from Psalm 57. My soul among lions, among them that are set on fire. And that is this age. People are set on fire, and they don't even know it. Therefore, he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger, and the strength of battle. It hath set him on fire round about, yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid not to heart. So the fury of the Lord has been poured out upon this land, and has set people on fire round about, yet they don't know, and they're burned, yet they don't consider it within their heart. And why? Why is this happening? I, the Lord, that my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. The Lord is telling us things that have come to pass, the former things, and the new things from this day and age. It is all written in his word. He told us this thousands of years ago. Before they spring forth, he tells us of them. He told us about this world long before it has appeared. Now we're in this world, in these latter days, in this time, the increase of knowledge and the increase of travel, so we can see it, and we can see that the words are not hidden because they are all around us with the writing on the wall. But this is why he's doing this, is to show us that he is the Lord. That is his name. His glory will he not give to any of these graven images, these images that are all around this electrified world. He knew about it. He told you about it, but it's not his. He didn't build it. He told you what would happen, and it will be taken away, and he's telling you about that now. And this first beast is just an indicator to show us the increase in knowledge and what came out of it when the mind of man was yielded to the first beast. So we see from the first beast, the first like a lion, this increase in knowledge, this man's mind, intellect was given over to the beast, was yielded to the beast. And this age in which man, the increase in knowledge, has exalted mankind into the heavens, that is represented by the first beast, where the man's mind was given to it. So let's look at the second beast, and behold another beast, a second, like to a bear. We will have that in the next episode, so be sure to stay tuned.